Hey guys, welcome to another Dancing with the Stars recap. Last week Shannon Doherty went home. It was a little bit of a shocker. This week they have a new judges challenge. The dances have to tell some sort of a story this week. I always thought that Len hated all the theatrics and everything and he just wanted straight dancing. I guess that's why this week Len's scores were at least equal to or 1 or 2 points lower than all of the other judges' scores. He just don't like the story. Well, you know what? If they couldn't agree on it, they shouldn't have put it in the show this week. So the dances this week are Quickstep, Paso Doble, and Waltz. Starting the show was a little pro dance demo. Jonathan and Anna, Dmitry and Lacey, Max's brother, and I didn't catch who the third woman was, the long blonde-haired woman. I think they said Joanna, or I don't know who it was. If you know, please put it in the comments. Starting off the celebrity performances was Evan and Anna. They had a quick step and they had this whole Chicago theme because he's from Chicago. I guess that's where they have all the big thick hair like Blagojevich. It was fantastic. I really loved their routine. It was a lot of fun. I actually forgot about his hair for the 2 minutes that they were dancing. And he's also at a disadvantage this week because he's got 2 broken toes. And I saw in an interview online, he was like, yeah, it's nothing new for me. I'll just tape them together and do my thing. I guess being an Olympic athlete, he's had to deal with a lot of pain in his career. So, yeah, it probably wasn't a big deal for him. They ended up with a 26. Buzz and Ashley were up next with their waltz. Predictable. It's a whole soldier returning from the war to his daughter. Thank God they made it his daughter and not like his wife. It actually probably could have been his granddaughter, but we won't go there. I love Buzz Aldrin, but come on. She was totally moving him around. At one point, I actually saw her push him. She did. They ended up with a 13. Jake and Chelsea, they had a quick step. They had this whole Egyptian theme going on. Why? I have no clue because I don't even care what he has to say anymore because he just freaks me out so much. He thinks she's disrespectful. They had a little drama in their practice session and I think he's just really upset because he's used to being Mr. Perfect all the time and he's having a really hard time with his dancing thing. So he's really cheesy too. And his acting is just so horrible. Like when he's trying to portray the archaeologist kind of thing. I think the wardrobe department they had him pegged this week when they put him in that giant brown suit because he looked like a big lump of crap. And then he had like all his dirt on his shoulders. It was probably dandruff, but I think they tried to make it look like dirt. I don't know. Sorry, Jake. He ended up with a 21. Nici and Louie up next. They had a waltz, and their whole story is about this interracial love in the 1960s, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird because she's black, and he's gay. Yes, he said he was gay, and I'm probably the last person in the world to know that he's gay. Sorry, Louie. When I think of people, I don't think if they're gay or not, so, you know, whatever. If you're gay, that's cool. So it was emotional. Some of the dancing was pretty awkward, though. They ended up with a 21, and then after they got their scores, Louie went on this tirade about, like, gay marriage and stuff. Louie, you're making ABC a little nervous. Ixnay on the gay marriage talk. All right, so Chad and Cheryl were up next with their Paso Doble. Their whole story was he wants her, she doesn't want him. Guess what? That's not fiction. That's what's going on for reals. So I think his attitude was better this week. He was definitely more into the dancing, but the dancing was still... What was with the weird baby steps that they were doing? It was really weird, but it was better. Weird, but better. Who would have ever thought? 20 for them. Pamela and Damian up next with their Paso Doble. she doesn't like bullfighting. So I guess it was like PETA versus the bullfighter. So Charo showed up to show her how to do it. You know, to be a little slutsker. I don't know, like a flamenco dancer. You know, there's an art to it. So the dancing, I think suffered a little bit this week for Pamela. It just wasn't as good as it had been, and it was just like a bunch of angry walking around and like lifting her skirt up, giving everybody a show, like angrily. So they ended up with a 21. I was expecting more from her. Aiden and Edyta were up next with their Quickstep. He was an artist, and his painting comes to life, and it was her. So their footwork was a little tangly, and he was a little bit stiff, but it was definitely a better performance than last week. So they ended up with a 20. Erin and Maxime. All right, this was kind of weird. They had a waltz, but their whole story was that she was blindfolded. Why? I have no idea. But she was actually better after she put the blindfold on, so it worked. I don't get what the story was, but maybe she should wear a blindfold more often, because they ended up with a 23. Kate and Tony were up next with the Paso Doble. If you didn't see this, you better find this online, because this was really bizarre. They danced to Lady Gaga's Paparazzi, and she needed an acting coach to come in because she didn't know how to act angry. Just ask John. Well, her makeup looked great. I love Kate. I really do. I love her as a mother of 8 kids, and I think she does a great job with them, but she's not a dancer. She was walking around like a truck driver in slow motion. Now, I didn't say this, but my husband said this. So everybody can send the bad comments to him. Tony would have done better pushing around the mannequin. I'm sorry, men are evil. No wonder why. All right, so they ended up with a 15. Nicole and Derek closed the show. I mean, we had the worst. Well, it's a toss-up between her and Buzz, but we went from the worst to the best. Nicole and Derek with their Quickstep. She's on a mother effing boat. They were dressed up so cute, like little sailors, both of them. It was another fabulous performance for her. She lifted up Derek. Carrie Ann was having a heart attack. They broke all the rules. You know what? Who cares? It's freaking Nicole Scherzinger and Derek Huff. They can do whatever the F they want to do. Len gave them a 6. Bruno gave them a 9. Carrie Ann gave them an 8. So yeah, that tells the story right there. They ended up with a 23. But who effing cares? They're not going home. Alright, so tomorrow it's going to be Reba McEntyre performing. And some sort of acoustic Paso Doble. I have no idea what that means. We're going to have to tune in and find out. And looking ahead to next week, there's another little judge's gimmick. It's going to be double scores. One for technique and one for performance. So, till tomorrow night, much love.